What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast, the official podcast of the Geeks and Company. My name is JS. We have a full house here today.
We do.
Of course, starting off with Mr. Aka, Messiah Complex Cosplay.
With the gun show.
Oh, fuck, I can't get this sleeve over my gun show.
Fail. Solo gun show today.
Solo gun show today. How's it going, buddy?
It's going really, really well. Work's been crazy, but who cares? Some brilliant friends of the podcast, our good friends, Alex and Dana, who have been on the podcast before, talking about The Predator, are getting married this weekend. They're getting married on Sunday.
I didn't know it was this weekend.
It is this weekend. Ed and Megan will also be there. So we're definitely looking forward to much celebration. And it's an open bar with our friends and having a good time. So I've already booked the Monday off because I'm quite certain I'm going to get right shit-faced on Sunday night. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. That's the big thing going on this week. And, of course, next weekend, London Comic-Con. And we've been gearing up for that. We've got a lot of things sort of in the works for that. So stay tuned for that. But who's joining us today, JS?
I mean, come on. Editor Megan in the house. Now, you've seen a lot of Editor Megan in videos lately.
I was there. I've been in a lot of this now.
Yeah, she's been very active with the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power Season 2 after show. Episode 2 and 3's show is going to be coming out tomorrow.
Episodes 3 and 4.
Sorry, episodes 3 and 4. Sorry.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Awesome. Very cool. I'll pass along the congratulations for sure.
Yeah.
Megan's very involved as long as she doesn't have to leave the house.
Super involved. If I can do it from right here, good.
Excellent.
Rob's looking at you jealously like, can I be that involved and never have to leave the house too? That'd be great.
I'm going to be leaving the house a lot for London Comic-Con because I'm going back and forth from London to vending in Brantford to coming back to London on the same weekend. So, yay.
Oh, Rob, where are your comics? Joining us today also is Rob the Bad Guy. I mean,
Roberto,
he's becoming a staple as well.
The bad guy.
Where's your comics, Rob?
Living out my residency here with you two.
My
comics.
Robert the Builder.
Robert the Builder.
I love it. I love it. Thanks, Jamie.
Speaking of building,
that needs to be a T-shirt.
I've got. I'm moving my office to a new room.
Oh, nice.
Upstairs. So I've taken everything down. I'm gonna paint this room for my son who's moving down here.
Nice.
I'm gonna move upstairs to his old room.
Sweet.
So yeah, that's where everything went. So a couple weeks from now,
you get to have sunlight.
It looks a little stark for sure.
Yeah, I know.
Why is it so?
No, it was completely empty, and then I was talking on the mic, and there's a giant echo. There probably still is, so I had to bring it back in. Yes,
it's not bad at all. No, it's not bad at all. At least not in my cans anyway. So,
but yeah, excited for another top 10.
Because they go so well.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
Absolutely. Yeah, people are so hyped.
They're one of my favorite as well. And this one is going to be, I think, a hot topic because already before this even started, like Jeff had to stop us. You know, it's like, guys, we got to keep this for when we're on air. So I think this is going to be a hot one. We've already got a bunch of people joining us early. Jennifer saying, yeah, we already said that. Or Rob, where are your comics? Rob the Builder or Robert the Builder. Wayne saying, hi, you crazy geeks. What's up, Wayne? Andre's here. It's gonna get violent. Well, I don't know if it's gonna get violent, but we'll see. Jeff, you're like mute. You're not muted, but you're not there. We can't hear you.
I was weird. In fact muted.
Oh, well, there you go.
That is correct. I'm just enjoying a little.
Yeah. So you know,
cerveza in the.
Howdy. So guys, the format I think is going to be pretty simple. As always, we've got our top 10 list. Ta-da! Here's our top 10, and
the formatting will probably take a shit as soon as we start entering stuff
100%.
in, and it will just end up looking like a blank white page with stuff on it. But hey, that's what you've come to expect from the high quality entertainment that you get from your Geeks and Company.
As far as the format, we're going to keep it. I think it's going to be very simple. They have to be cartoons. And Jeff brought up the fact that they have to have aired on a Saturday morning. So we may get some fact checking here.
I think there's certain ones that you can kind of understand that are like, especially ones that were geared toward adults. We're not talking about The Simpsons or Bob's Burgers or Archer or any of those. They were clearly Rick and Morty, clearly intended for a different audience. But even certain ones that you may have thought, like the Flintstones, might have immediately leapt to mind. It's a primetime cartoon show, did not air on Saturday morning. So some of the other Hanna-Barbera shows did. But I don't believe the Flintstones did. Yes, go ahead.
Flintstones did reruns on Saturday mornings.
See? So then we should count that. Absolutely, we should count that. As long as the cartoon aired, as long as you as a child or as a teen or whatever was able to watch it on Saturday morning. See, Andre's saying no Batman, the animated series. I'm pretty sure you could watch Batman the animated series.
100%. I watched it on Saturday mornings.
Yeah. So there may be some quick Googling to make sure that it did in fact air at some point somewhere on planet Earth on Saturday morning. But I think we understand the demographic that we're talking about. Like, we're not talking about like Dora or Bluey or something that's meant for like small, little, tiny children. Also not a bear like The Simpsons or Family Guy. We're talking about that sort of youth market that these cartoons were so appealing to, right? So you get the idea.
Andre, I think that's the winner. Andre, I'm sorry.
Jennifer Walterhouse. Don't worry. I sent JS my list, aka the right list. I'm getting flashbacks of Dracula from this woman.
Exactly. And the list has, number one, and then the rest is whatever. That's what she wrote. That's what she wrote.
So similar to Dracula. Similar to Dracula. Like if Dracula's number one and it
Jen's
doesn't matter.
List.
Right.
Number one. I mean, we might as well throw it out right now and start to get the ball rolling. Actually, you know what? Before we do get the ball rolling, guys, if you're not subscribed to this channel, please make sure you click that damn subscribe button. It really helps us out. And if you click the notification bell, you'll always know anytime we go live or that we upload one of our videos. And we've got a bunch of content coming from our after shows to... We've got cosplay interviews that we're calling the Cosplayer Questionnaire. We've got comic creator interviews.
Geeking out with
whoever
we're talking about. So
the first episode of that is actually already out. I think those are going to be a weekly thing. Every week I'm going to put out a new comic book creator, a new Geeking Out.
Right.
So make sure you click the notification bell and make sure you actually watch the videos.
Neither
Bluey that watch time really helps us out. It's really important.
100%.
You have no idea how important the watch time is in the world of YouTube
for us.
So let's get back to Jen's list here. So Jen says number one is the Looney Tunes. Now, that's going to be a hard one to argue against. There's only one show I think that really has a chance to dethrone the Looney Tunes. Anybody that thinks the Looney Tunes, I mean, if you don't think it should be number one or two or at least very close to the top, you tell me.
It should be near the top.
I think the Looney Tunes has been running since like the 50s.
I think it's even longer than that.
Or maybe even longer than that. I mean, my parents know all those characters. My grandparents know all those characters. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're from. You know who Bugs Bunny and Tweety are. The Bugs Bunny and Tweety show, the Bugs Bunny show. Doesn't matter which version of it is. The Looney Tunes is probably the longest running franchise as far as I can tell in the world. I think that one's going to be hard to beat. I'm just going to type it in a number one here for now, but it might stay there. What are your guys'
That's fair. It needs to be. I mean, it's the only one on there, so it needs to be number one.
Well, it's going to be number one for now for sure. Jeff got real silent and real like.
No. I'm just doing some research. Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner debuted September 17th, 1949.
Oh shit! So the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
That checks out.
Well, let's call that the 50s. I mean, 1949. Let's call it the 50s. But still, that's 75 years. 75 fucking years.
Yeah.
Been a good long while.
A thing though? Are they still running?
So I'm not sure what their current airing is, but yeah, through my childhood, everything that was like Looney Tunes, Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner Coyote, it all aired on Teletoon Retro.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a distinction between shows we're saying currently quote unquote running. Like they're not making any new ones, I don't believe, but
no, it looks like it was canceled.
You can still watch the show probably at almost any time on the weekends, in particular on a Saturday morning, for sure.
I would say one thing, they might actually have them out of reruns for the most part. I know that Roadrunner and Coyote, they stopped putting it on like regular television when I was like 7 or 8, because I got very annoyed I couldn't find it anymore because it was too violent.
Right.
So
it's tough to tell now what is, because I mean, how many of us like have cable and you're surfing
that's the
around
thing,
on
right?
a Saturday morning,
Yeah.
right? So might be a little more difficult to tell who has got what on right now. But
I could tell you here that the Animaniacs reboot went till 2023. The Tiny Toons
See, but is Animaniacs Looney Tunes?
No.
Yeah.
That feels different to me.
It's
no,
not
they're part of the Looney Tunes. They are 100% part of the Looney Tunes.
hold on. There is spiritual successor to the Looney Tunes. It's not the Looney Tunes.
They've had crossovers between the characters. They are 100% Looney Tunes characters.
Well, yeah, but there's crossovers between like a million comic like cartoons.
Like Scooby-Doo was on Supernatural. Does that mean?
Yeah, but no. The Animaniacs brand is part of the Looney Tunes brand. The same way that Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner and Tweety and those are all characters.
See, but they were all in it from the beginning.
Well, yes, Animaniacs
was added in
later,
what, like
but
the
they're
80s?
still part of that brand, right? It's like the Tiny Toons. The Tiny Toons weren't around since the beginning, but they're literally those characters as younger versions of themselves, right? So those were
that's
also
the
not
same character, though.
And that still runs. The Tiny Toons still runs. The new Tiny Toons University show has been running since 2023 and is still running. So they've been around for 75 years. That's,
Yeah, no. I believe you. Yeah, for sure. Even the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner hour was 27 seasons from 1960 to 2000.
That's
it's not like
insane. 27 seasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I told y'all this is going to get violent. Yeah, this is pick 1, by the way. We're 12 minutes in.
I just want to. Animaniacs for me beats Looney Tunes, but so the fact that if you're including Animaniacs and Looney Tunes, I'll move it up the list.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, 100% for me. Animaniacs is part of the Looney Tunes.
You know what? I can live with that. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
No, it's not the
Google
Looney
says
Tunes
same
show.
universe, different franchises. So there you go.
Mm.
That's what Google says. Same universe, different franchises. Hey guys, Nada says, still at the grocery store, home soon, ready to battle. Watch your mouth, Waterhouse. Oh, we're gonna have the sisters fight. Sister.
Yeah,
fight.
Jennifer
Sister
here says,
fight.
"Suck it, Transformers."
There's hey man. The whole point of this is that we get to put the stuff out there and then we make the case. We argue for it, right? So remember, when we're talking about top 10 lists, we're not just talking about what your personal favorites were, or even sometimes longevity. Sometimes it's cultural impact. Sometimes it's presence in the zeitgeist. Sometimes it's financially how well it's done. Sometimes it's merchant toys. Like it's just, there's so many different factors that come into what would be. Because Rob's saying crazy things like Animaniacs above Looney Tunes. That's just bonkers to my mind. It's arguably a funner, better show.
Yeah, sure. It's way funner, better.
Yeah, 100%. More of a cultural impact, though. There's no way.
I prioritized on what I liked most. It was only like in the last 90 seconds did you give it to the.
You were like, oh shit. Yeah, I saw you roll your eyes, and I'm like, we should probably keep it to. You're like, oh, for fuck this guy.
All right, Jeff, your turn.
Do I start with a heavy hitter too, just to kind of muddy the waters, or do I go with something weird? You know what? I'll start with a heavy hitter. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, you went there already, eh? Dang.
I sure did. Now, I did finally do. Hold on, Megan. I did finally do some research on this. And I was just looking for top 10 lists or top 20 lists or top 30 lists. And I was actually pretty shocked how many of those lists had TMNT as number one. It was not one or two lists. There was a bunch of them that had TMNT as number one. And at the very least, I didn't see it below 5 on any list I looked at. Yeah. So I know you're kind of giving me the weird side eye, but like what you took was a very small, very low print run independent comic book. And then you had this cartoon that made it a global phenomenon that led to live action movies, that led to when we did our top 10 retro toys episode, we were all shocked at how much money had been spent on TMNT toys over the course of the years. And it's another one that we've talked about a lot of it. They're still fucking making Ninja Turtle shit.
There's a new. Well, it's not.
There's
new
a new
anymore,
one about
but,
to come out. Then they had that Mutant Mayhem one that came out last year or the year before that they had
which was
featured
fantastic.
at Fan Expo. They had the live action ones, which they rebooted again, and those still made money, even though they were CG at that point. Like, there's never a time where these guys aren't in the world of whatever Saturday morning cartoons, right? So I don't know. I think it should be rather high. I would still put it below Looney Tunes, but I'm guessing it's going to beat something lame like Thundercats that Wayne just said for sure.
Something lame like Thundercats.
Yeah. Whoa. We'll get there.
I
mean,
okay. How do you mute this guy? Where's the mute?
Top 10 for Thundercat? Get the fuck
okay,
out of
we
here,
are done.
And that's the list.
That's the list where it currently stands. Turtles should be number 2.
Up. I want to make sure. So if you're arguing that Pokemon and Scooby-Doo beat it in toys and ongoing franchises, that is not the sole argument that we're making. By the way, Scooby-Doo toys and franchises absolutely does not beat TMNT.
No way.
I was saying, I have a list.
It's not even close.
No.
Maybe I didn't look up toys, but I did look up the actual content.
Yeah, look up toys because there's no fucking way. I mean, what's on JS's hat probably beats the shit out of everybody for toys, but
I mean, yeah,
it's not just toys.
And I feel like, especially for our era, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like our era, the younger Gen X's and what they call the elder millennials, like the mid 70s to mid 80s kids, toys were a big thing, I feel, for us.
Well, because they use the shows to sell the toys. That
was exactly
of
right.
The shows, right?
So the shows that you connected with were the shows that you enjoyed the toys, right? I mean, and for me, I was all about Transformers. So
there was no other way to consume it then.
Exactly, right?
We didn't have the internet, kids. We didn't have VHS. We didn't have stuff that we could, if we watched it Saturday morning and then we bought the toy to play out the scenarios that we wanted to. That was our entire consumption of it, right?
Yeah, my top 5 are all toy bait. Are all the ones that have toys with them.
Yeah,
the only
100%.
one that's not is Looney Tunes. And Before You Slaughter Me, I know they had toys, but they weren't toys I played with.
Slaughter Me.
No.
Before the people in the comments.
Yeah.
Before I am killed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody agrees right now that TMNT is not going to go above Looney Tunes, so we're going to leave it at number 2 for now. And I mean, although everybody knows what my top pick is, I mean, I'm gonna let Robbo, the bad guy. Actually, who's next when we go this way? Who's next so that we remember? Actually, Megan, you make a pick.
Okay, I would say I'm gonna continue the trend here, and I'm gonna jump into just my main one, and it is Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo for me, it would be number 1. I can go through this. So it's been on air consistently with new content since 1969. They've had 4 animated TV movies, 38 direct-to-video animated movies, animated theatrical release, 2 live-action theatrical releases, 2 live-action TV movies, live-action direct-to-DVD movie as well. For physical content. Other shows that the characters have appeared in is Batman, the Brave and the Bold, Jay and Silent Bob, South Park, Arthur, Teen Titans Go, Supernatural, the Lego Movie 2, Space Jam: A New Legacy, and Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
What?
Apparently.
Huh.
Really?
Have to hunt that out.
Yeah. Oh, and then just other general, always pop culture references. The biggest one that jumps out in my brain is literally in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. They call their group the Scooby Gang.
Right.
Scooby-Doo is a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah, I think it was, and it was for a long time. Undeniable.
I would say it still is. They're still putting out new. There's 2 or 3 currently running Scooby-Doo shows right now.
Is there really?
That they're making new content for.
There's the one that focuses on Velma. I think it's just
called
gone. Velma.
That's gone.
Oh, is it?
That's
I thought they were
already
doing
been
a second
canceled.
season.
No, it's been canceled.
I thought for sure they were doing a second season.
I thought they were doing a second one, but there
is.
It
did come out already.
There's one on Netflix right now
canceled. Too. Yeah, I think it is.
Who cares?
Anyway,
just saying,
whatever.
There are current iterations of
interesting
and such.
Oh, I didn't know that one. Seeing in the comments, they've actually they've had theme parks.
Has had theme parks and everything. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and a new movie every year. You're right. I mean, I feel like when I was a kid, every year there was a new animated Scooby-Doo movie, right? Like, it was crazy.
Never really been a fan, and I hated Scrappy. My God. Oh,
Okay, listen.
Yeah,
no one really likes
Scrappy,
Scrappy, but the main
yeah.
Scooby-Doo group.
Okay, I love Scrappy, but that's fine. Anyways,
So
I did.
Nobody liked Scrappy.
It was puppy power. It was fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is another one of those where like you'd have to like go to like the Sentinelese tribe that's never been contacted to other humans to find someone that has never heard of Scooby-Doo or some sort of oblique reference to. And there's so many different like Scooby-Doo Mystery of the Week, and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you kids. Like there's so many different things from that show that have lasted for the last since the 70s till now, like 50 fucking years. So yeah, man, it's hard to argue. I guess the only thing that I would say as far as like an aside from that is like a lot of the media that you just mentioned was, how can I put this? Because I had some of them for my kids too. The direct to DVD ones were not, it's not the same as like a giant theatrical release. Like they had two of those, and one of them did fairly well and one of them did not, so they never made a third one. And then even the stuff that's come out lately has mostly been like either streaming or direct to video. So I'm not shitting on any of that, but it's not the same thing as it's not the MCU. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing as having like a huge.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying it's the MCU, but like the way that main content, the way that like main media is consumed now, though, isn't on cable. It's on streaming, so it's on the platforms that will get it viewed.
But what you were, all those direct DVD videos were all from the 90s.
Late 90s, no, that was through this.
That's what I mean. Like, so they had opportunities to have bigger things, and they kind of never really went that route. They kept it not small, but you know what I mean? Like,
but even within that, like there were there's 4 live action, like there's 4 theatrical releases that were in there. 2 of them animated and then 2 live action.
Yeah, the ones that James Gunn wrote. Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we gotta decide where it goes because we're already 25 minutes into this podcast and we literally have 2 names on the list here. So, you know, we gotta start speedballing through some of these here. So where do we put Scooby-Doo? I agree with number 2. I think that
Rob saying 3. Megan says 1.
I would say 1. I will accept 2.
She's like, I will not accept 3.
Rob's
I will not accept 3. Scooby-Doo is so much better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Let Rob talk. Hold on. Let Rob have it.
Just to back up your point about the straight to DVD stuff here. So if you're looking at the highest grossing media franchises of all time, Scooby-Doo is in the $4.68 billion category. Our other 2 are actually tied for $17.4 billion. So I don't know. I feel like if you're taking everything into account here, some of these have had significantly more impact than Scooby-Doo has.
When's the last time that you watched another television show and they referenced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I can't think of the last time I watched a show that... I can't think of the last time I even heard of Scooby-Doo before the last 24 hours.
I'm concerned about what media you're consuming then, Rob.
A lot of people are saying 3, and I think when Nada gets home, she's gonna be ready to throw some fucking hands, man. Like
it's gonna keep going down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm happy with 2 or 3. Jamie's saying 4. We don't even have 4 yet. Are you fucking high?
There's only 2 on the list. Let's,
Megan's soul is slowly leaving her body as
Thanks, it's been great, guys.
Down the last step. Bye. I initially said 2. I would probably stick with 2. I think the only thing I would agree with Megan on is I think there's, first of all, TMNT I think is a lot more of a, now I'm going to get in shit for this, whatever, but a little more boy-based than girl-based. But I feel like Scooby-Doo is a little more universally.
They can specifically advertise to one over the other.
You know what I mean? I think it's a little more broadly appealing, and same with age groups too, right? I think you don't have to be a certain age to be able to really enjoy Scooby-Doo in some way. I watched a lot of Scooby-Doo with my kids. I still loved it. It was still great. So Victoria, oh my God, it's 2 for sure. Yeah, 5 and move on, Christina.
I would be okay with it too, but I mean, I'd be also okay with it at 3. So.
Well, I initially did say 2. Megan saying 1. Rob saying 3. JS is we're like 1, 2, and 3. So you have to be the deal breaker here.
There we go. So let's make it 2.
Yeah.
All right. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Rob's leaving now. First we lost Valkyrie. Yeah. First we lost that Valkyrie girl. Then we lost Rob. That's now you know why it's normally just JS and I.
All right, Rob, your turn.
Can't keep anybody else on.
Fucking Looney Tunes.
Hilarious.
What do
I
have
dare
here?
you to say the thing on his hat. I fucking dare you to say the thing on his hat.
Victoria says, "I've never seen TMNT."
Victoria's
that's
9.
basically where I'm
Yeah,
headed.
you're like
that's so,
you're like this big.
that's not, she's like an infant. That does not count.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was kind of my thing for it as well. Like, I think I've seen maybe 2 episodes of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just never watched it when I was a kid. It
But
didn't
you know
appeal
they
to me.
exist. You know who they
Yes.
are. You can probably name all 4.
I mean, because they're historical figures, but
Yep,
yes.
that's why they chose the names. But you know who they are. You can name them. You could see them on site and know exactly what they are, which is kind of proving the point. Even though you haven't really been exposed to the whole thing that much, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly who they are because you've absorbed it, whether you wanted to or not. That sounds really creepy, and I'm just going to rescind that whole comment. Anyways, Megan's like,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
leaving.
gonna-
Well done. Go ahead, Rob.
Like, we're just gonna let that pass.
I'm gonna say what's on his hat: He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Amazing. I mean, I can tell you what color master. Like Michael Icon, I hate the TMNTs. Well, too goddamn bad. He-Man
Okay,
and
they're
the
below
Masters
Scooby-Doo.
of the Universe. All right, Rob, make your case.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Why
should
should be
He-Man
on-
and the Yeah, why should it be on the top 10?
Why should it be on the top 10? Because I
Oh, now he regrets this choice.
yeah.
Because
I have to
fucking
justify
like it.
this shit. You know what? I think so. If we go back to the comments we made earlier about like, so the generation I'm from, I'm an elder millennial. Tying it back to the toys, that's one of the ones that spawned like a huge amount of toys,
Mm-hmm.
or the other way around. The show was really a way to sell the toys. The show was the way to sell the toys.
Mhm.
At the time, that had a big impact on my Saturday morning cartoon experience. So I'm not saying it's number 1 by any means at all, but I would put it on the list.
Right. Why? Because he's freaking He-Man. I feel like He-Man was just a bit of a moment in time. I know they've just redone it. Kevin Smith did something on Netflix.
It was totally a moment in time. It's not like a 50, 70 year thing. It was just a fun moment in time.
Yes and no. I mean, we had the Dolph Lundgren He-Man movie.
Which bombed, let's be fair.
Which what?
Bombed.
It bombed, but it was still a fantastic movie. Like anybody that was a He-Man fan, I mean, we got to get He-Man in live action, right? And it was
Fantastic's
nothing
a
like the
bold
cartoon,
word, sir,
but no, it was awesome. It was a great movie. They're actually, from my understanding, they're rebooting the movie. They're coming out with a new He-Man movie, although it's unclear if it's going to be a Masters of the Universe movie, a la what Kevin Smith did. That doesn't really focus on He-Man at all. And it focuses on Tila and the other characters. Or if it's actually going to focus on He-Man and be a He-Man movie. But there's a new He-Man movie in the works. There's been a bunch of He-Man cartoons. It's been rebooted like 4 or 5 times over the years. There was one in the early 2000s. There was one in 2014. There was 2 He-Man shows that came out at the same time. When the Kevin Smith show came out, there's another He-Man show that came out at the same time or around. So it's been around for a while. It just hasn't been a mainstay like a Looney Tunes or a Scooby-Doo. There's no arguing that, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I get
and
it.
Yeah, I would lump She-Ra in with that as well too. There was a spin-off universe there too. But so anyway, I'll throw that on the list. I'll put it at the bottom for now.
Yeah, He-Man deserves consideration just for the Skeletor memes. Yeah.
100%.
Oh, is that what that's from?
That is what that's from. That's from He-Man.
Okay.
That was like the big
There
bad
you
on
go.
He-Man with Skeletor.
Yeah.
And the only context I have for He-Man is a couple of She-Ra cosplayers that I've seen at cons.
There was one at VonCon. I don't know what her name was, but one of the cosplay guests was cosplaying as She-Ra. So there's no question it had an impact. It sold a bunch of toys for sure. I don't know if it's necessarily like kept up with that since it debuted, whenever that was, probably in the 80s, I'm assuming. Talk about setting an unrealistic expectation for male bodies. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Who didn't want to be He-Man? Exactly. Walking around in that furry loincloth he had going on there, just all jacked as shit.
The haircut, oh my
fucking
god,
yoked that guy was. And then of course there was the other meme with the I know, maybe dating myself here, but with the song where they had someone put it to a song, and now I don't remember the song. You know what? Just ignore me. I'm going to keep drinking. And
back to
I will say this about He-Man and why I think it connected, especially with the boys in the 80s, is He-Man was actually a kid. right? He was Prince Adam. He was just a little scrawny kid.
Oh yeah, he was basically Shazam,
guy.
wasn't he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was the average guy, right? And then when he got the sword of power and he would do the incantation, he would turn into He-Man, right? And then he would be this big jack dude, and then his tiger would turn into, I forget what his name is. Fuck, I can't believe it.
He the tiger.
Whatever. Yeah, he had a
he
tiger,
rode around on a tiger.
He rode around on
Battle
the tiger.
Cat.
Wasn't it green?
It was green.
Battle
Yeah.
Cat.
Yeah, it was a
Cringer.
green tiger
Yeah.
with like armor
Love
and a
it.
cool ass saddle and everything else. Yeah,
Yeah.
and evil Lynn, and yeah, it was great.
By the
No, it's-
power
no,
of
it's a great show.
Grayskull.
That's right. Thank you, Andrew.
I've got
What's
the power.
going on? Yes, Andrew, buddy, you've always got my back. I appreciate that. Yes, that was a huge meme for a long time. Hey, what's going on was the song, and someone animated at the Adam version, the older Adam version of He-Man singing, and it was fantastic. So, yeah. Anyways, I on the list as it current stands right now, it would probably be number 4. Christina's crusty tonight. Next. Oh, you've already got it, number 4. Perfect.
Perfect. Next. Let's do it. Transformers. I mean, Transformers, I'm going to throw it out right now. Was a big part of my childhood.
You don't say.
When I grew up, we didn't have a lot of money. So I wasn't that kid that had all the toys. I had to be very picky and choosy about the toys that I would ask for birthdays and Christmas because I didn't have all the toys. So I had Transformer toys and I had Star Wars toys. So Transformers was my thing. I freaking loved it. Somebody asked me this week or last week, who is your favorite Transformer? And I answered, it's probably Optimus Prime. Like I loved my Optimus Prime, but that was a lie. My favorite Transformer was Grimlock. When the Dinobots came out, I re-fell in love with the Transformers, and then I started saving money to be able to go buy the Dinobots. Okay, that's how freaking like in love with it that I was. I started saving money to go buy Dinobots. Don't have a Transformers tattoo, but I mean, don't be surprised if it happens one day. I mean, as far as toy sales, I very much doubt any other franchise sold as many toys as Transformers, other than stuff like Star Wars, which is not a Saturday morning cartoon.
I think that Ewoks cartoon might have been. I'm just fucking with you. Go ahead.
But again, that was not.
was that
a Saturday morning cartoon? That was just like a one shot, though, wasn't it?
Doesn't matter. It's fine.
Either way,
I'm just trying to.
Either way,
it worked. Yeah.
For me,
along with the GoBots,
by far. You know what? I love the GoBots as well. I had a lot of GoBots just because the GoBot toys were cheaper.
They were,
let's be honest, than the Transformer toys, right? So I loved GoBots too. I had both GoBot bases. The transforming vehicles. I mean, I'm a car guy. What do you think I'm a car guy? The Transformers have, I think, a direct correlation with me being a car guy, right? So, fair enough. Yeah. So for me, Transformers probably goes at like it's 00. Before 1.
Me, Grimlock, say we don't have 00.
That works.
But I realize that in the grand scheme of things, it probably will not end up anywhere close to number 1. But I will let you guys try to shoot me down because I'm controlling the list.
I was gonna say, what's the list look like right now?
Right now, the list looks like the Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, TMNT, and He-Man in the Masters of the Universe. Jennifer says 00. There you go.
I think of the Transformers being like
Looney
3.
Tunes first and everything down from there. So I don't know why now she thinks 00 is going to work. I get the whole Stand By Your Man, Jen, but come on, man. That's not that's not it. Yeah, I with the Transformers, again, it's hard to argue against. It's still another one of those where they found the toy first. Someone went over to Japan, found the toy, and was like, hey, we could probably use a television show to market this toy. And they did. And it was wildly successful. And then you've got the animated film, which came out, which did not do well. But then you had all the live action movies that came out that Michael Bay did that made billions and billions and billions of dollars. So
there were countless series also. From Beast Wars
they're still doing it.
Evolution to like this.
They just did one on Netflix, and now they've got that new film that just came out
One.
with Chris Hemsworth and the other
Transformers
dude,
1.
Tyree Henry or whatever.
Yeah.
That's
a
a
good one.
prequel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically the
Transformers,
story
movie was a big
of.
deal as well. Yeah.
It's
I
a
mean, it
story
kind of
of
bombed at the
Optimus and
time,
Megatron.
but did you know that Transformers the movie was the last role for Orson Welles that he
Really?
ever did? Yeah, the voiceover work he did for Unicron was the last acting
That's
that
the
he
last
ever
thing
did.
he did.
The last thing Orson Welles did was Transformers the movie.
Oh, that's a weird,
A weird little piece of trivia.
piece of knowledge.
Anyways,
I
think you could argue. You know what? I'm not. Why am I arguing? You argue.
well, I've already made my argument.
Yes.
It's number one.
It's not. It's not number one. It's
Well,
it's
No.
then
like
where do you think
3.
it goes?
three or you could convince me to go 2, but yeah, I would definitely say 3. It's definitely above He-Man. Put the list back up
Yes.
again.
Obviously.
I think it's above TMNT. I don't know that it's above Scooby-Doo. If it is, it's not above Looney Tunes. I'd say 1, but won't work. So 2 makes sense.
Solid
See, I just-
4.
2's the ceiling.
Solid 4. Nada.
I was
what
gonna
the
say,
hell?
yeah, there's a lot of. I feel like it's a split between things because I have very little concept of Transformers. The only media I consume that's Transformers is like the Megan Fox movies.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yes, but like you and millions of others consume those because they're $1 billion movie franchise. I think the first 3 made over $1 billion. Like it's everybody.
I saw the first one.
No. I understand that,
not,
but you still saw it, and because everybody saw it because it was a phenomenon. It was a worldwide phenomenon, right? So, like Shia LaBeouf
but
has a career.
one-
Megan Fox has a career because of that film, right?
Yes, but one movie making it into general culture, I don't think surplants 50 years of
Wait,
pop culture.
Yeah, but that's not what.
Wait,
put it
that's
into
not the
zeitgeist.
case. You're talking about a franchise that exists since
No, like there's lots of
1992.
other, there's tons of other media that everyone watches, but the things that have reached like past their target audience is limited.
I guess the key argument here would be, again, much like some of the other ones that we're going to talk about, it is geared more towards guys than girls. I don't think there's any
100%.
arguing that. And again,
Yeah, this would be
Scooby-Doo,
like
I
really
feel-
going like hardcore for like Sailor Moon or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or My Little Pony or whatever. So, I mean, I could see how that would put it at 3, just because the 2 above it are more broadly appealing, right?
Okay.
But not below 3.
No,
Like,
I wouldn't
3
put
is
it below
the
Teenage Mutant
lowest.
Ninja Turtles.
Now, all you clowns saying 4, get the
Yeah, no. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah. No. You're not
Yeah.
going to
No, it's definitely above Turtles.
TMNT was a bigger cultural phenomenon than Transformers. Transformers not only launched a lot of that whole let's use a cartoon to market a toy, but it also launched a lot of the bringing over of these Japanese cartoons and re-editing them for American markets.
television. Yeah.
Transor Z, Voltron,
Robotech,
Robotech,
Macross, yeah, all that shit. Even live action, even Power Rangers, like
Gundams.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we only got those in America because of companies like Hasbro that were bringing these cartoons over, and then they were re-editing them, literally re-editing the seasons into new shows. Which, can you imagine the work that requires? Like,
No.
Yes.
and you got to remember, right, back in the 80s, like when they brought in a season of Transformers, that was like 30 episodes.
Right. When seasons of television was more than 8 episodes. Something.
Yeah, that's the amount of work to me for something like that is bonkers, especially when you consider they didn't do all this on the computer, right? So
Oh yeah.
see, there you go.
Like yeah,
Thank
it's
you very
solidly
much.
it is
Tran-
solidly 3.
Transformers has made $8 billion more as a media franchise than anybody else on our list so far.
Yeah, no surprise.
Right?
Between toys, movies, shows,
Yeah.
there's zero surprise that that's the case.
Yeah.
I knew Transformers would have made more money than anything else. And I knew it wouldn't even be close. So, all right, who's
So,
pick?
I'll leave it at number 3, but I know that's the biggest franchise.
It's the biggest franchise in your heart.
Whose turn is it? I believe it is Jeff's turn.
All right, I'm gonna throw another monkey in the wrench.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's gonna spark some conversation. Are you ready, kids?
Uh,
Give her.
Nobody.
I already know.
Nothing? I can't hear
I know.
you.
But that wasn't a Saturday
No,
morning cartoon, was
I
it?
Oh,
hate it.
absolutely. It aired on Saturday mornings, especially.
I hate it so
reruns.
much.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. What are we
This
talking
is when I
about?
want Jack back
SpongeBob
here.
SquarePants.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean,
Movies,
when that started
the TV
airing,
shows since 1990.
were
The
you
show's
old
been on
enough
for
to
25
watch?
years. By the way, it's still on, and I don't mean it's still on in reruns. Like, it's still being produced from 1999 to present. It's won 6 Annie Awards, 8 Golden Reel Awards, 4 Emmys, 18 Kids' Choice Awards, 2 BAFTA Children's
Oh.
Awards, many others.
Well, I was
It's had
shut
live
down
action
pretty quick here.
films.
I've never seen the live action film actually.
There's 3 of them now.
Oh,
So
There's
Yeah.
3 of them. Oh God, of
I
course
believe
there's 3.
so,
Okay.
yes.
It says
the first
here
one's
that
fantastic, by the way.
Nickelodeon set up SpongeBob Square. So when Nickelodeon had their own TV
Yes.
channel,
Yes.
they set up SpongeBob SquarePants to be their network's first Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay.
Megan and
I mean,
finding it
I don't
annoying
think
as kids,
SpongeBob
Jeff at
has
30 with his beer,
the-
having a great time watching it. Yes, I agree. I think it's another one of those things where it's like, especially in our culture, like in our zeitgeist, I think even if you didn't watch it, you know what it is. You've been
Mhm.
exposed to it in some
Yeah.
way, shape, or form. It's in the zeitgeist. Even if you're like Megan, you're just like, fuck this fucking thing. You know exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as I said it, you knew exactly.
I
As soon as I started
sure
humming the
did.
song, you knew exactly what I was doing. These 2 guys actually didn't, but you even knew the song when I started it.
I
So-
sure did. I avoided it like the plague, but it still snuck into my brain.
Yeah, it sure did. So I'm not saying it's 1 or 2 at all. I'm not suggesting that at all. But I think on our current
1 or 2.
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's Rob. Do me a favor, find out monetarily what kind of money this SpongeBob SquarePants has made, because I am curious. I'm willing
Yeah,
to bet
I
it's
don't
not an
feel-
insignificant amount.
on
of
the
money.
list that I am looking at, it's coming in at $13.7 billion.
And that would put it where on our list?
Monetarily, that's
Yeah.
below the Looney Tunes and TMNT, who I think were tied at 17.5.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's
Yeah.
still pretty good.
Well, because it's still on,
Not the
right?
Transformers.
Yeah, it's still
pretty
actually
good.
No,
making
it's,
money.
it's not just about the money. I'm just, and again, I want to get back to, as much as Nicole and Megan are shitting on it, it is also, I think, a little bit more broadly appealing. There are girls on the show. You've got Sandy the
Yeah, it
Squirrel,
is
you've got Pearl, you've got
Somewhat more appealing.
yes.
Well,
For
and
people that like it. It is not gender specific, it is just taste specific.
Agreed.
yes,
I don't know if there's any.
didn't it
truth
have like
behind it,
14 accolades, Oscars, and Best Kids Choice Awards, and
Yeah,
Really?
all that
18.
stuff?
18 Kids
Wow.
Choice Awards. They won 4 Emmys, for God's sakes. Like, not daytime, like Emmys.
Kids don't know
Like,
shit.
well, I mean, it's true. Kids don't know shit.
Emmys.
Emmys. It
Keith,
won
they're
4
saying-
Emmys, man.
They just signed a deal with Wendy's to release the Krabby Patty.
Really?
I mean, really?
What?
SpongeBob has a Broadway musical now. He-Man doesn't. So highbrow appeal, I guess. This is Nicole.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Arguably, you would put SpongeBob above He-Man. So
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
would think. I
I
mean,
mean-
I don't. Is there another one of these shows though that has been on? I guess yeah, Looney Tunes for sure. But like, it's not like it's come and gone. It's been the same show that's been airing for 25 years. Like that's, to me, that's crazy town.
yeah, you're right. That I don't think. Well,
And then JS
Oh.
is gone. Cool.
Oh,
Awesome.
no.
It's our list.
sorry
now.
guys.
Oh,
Sorry,
hey,
guys.
he's there. Yeah. Back to the
Other
top,
than The
sir.
Simpsons, I don't know who.
Pork chop
sorry, I fucked up the
sandwiches.
order here.
I do like
Yeah,
pork
I don't
chop
know.
the pork chop sandwiches thing. That's a deeper cut. See, they didn't know the Adam meme. They're probably not going to know the pork chop sandwiches meme. So yeah, see
No.
again, they're all like, I don't. They some of the for GI Joe, they did it with Super Friends too, but they lip sync, like they took the lips and they made him say other things. It was one of the GI Joe PSAs, and he was talking about pork chop sandwiches, and it's fucking hilarious. Yeah. Anyways,
So
it's
where
a
would you
deep
like
cut. I love
the?
It's above He-Man, and I know you guys aren't going to put it above TMNT, so I would say it's 5 on that list.
I'd be fine with it at 6, but
I know
that's
you would be fine with it at 6, but that's because you hate it, and you're not because you don't acknowledge its
A little
impact
biased.
in the cultural zeitgeist. So
Okay.
The
Well,
fact
I'm
that
not
you know
arguing,
it well
just
enough to
saying.
hate it, it tells me all I need
Well,
to
I mean,
know
I
about
was
it.
exactly the demographic for when it came out.
Right. No, exactly. I was not, and I still loved it. So, yeah. Anyways, that was my pick. It's Megan's turn.
Megan.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, let's just keep going with things that will probably actually make this list. My pick for now would be Pokemon.
Yep.
Yep. So between like video games, cards, TV shows, like there was just so many Pokemon things when I was a kid. Like I liked it, but you couldn't escape it, even if you didn't like it.
Want to bet?
There was so many different rounds for it, and I feel like it was prevalent enough in culture, and like continuing to be prevalent even like up to now. Like we had Pokemon Go like within the last 5 years. I still know people that play it. I'm sure there's other games that have come out recently, and yeah, there's always new cards. There's always new characters. You need to see. I'm sure there's there's a YouTube video that I'm not going to remember what the YouTuber is, but he does a smash and pass through every single Pokemon, and it's hilarious.
That'd be Markiplier. Every time we get together, the
There we
Kitchener
go.
gang, we watch Markiplier smash or pass 876 Pokemons. So, yeah. I got to admit, I'm too old for Pokemon. Like, by the time it got popular, I had already aged out of it. So I don't have any frame of reference for it. I know it was wildly popular, both the cards and the handheld games, especially on the Game Boy, and then the show. But I don't personally have a lot of experience. I think I can name 3 of them, maybe.
You got up to 3. You're only at 2 during VonCon.
Maybe only 2 of them. Yeah.
2 of them you just make up because you're like,
that's right.
Mew meow.
Flurblem. Yeah. I don't even. Not. It's just make random sounds.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
That one turns into the
the thing
right?
with the horns and the fucking shouting. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
different ones. But yeah, I would say it was very popular when I was in that like correct age group. I think it's still popular. The cards, I still have like a binder of them somewhere, and I need to look at them because apparently some of those cards are worth like thousands of dollars now. So
yeah,
it's funny you say that because I'm gonna make a joke about that because my kids were always like, "Oh, this one's worth something. This one's worth something." And then I took the binder to like cons, and they're like, "That ain't worth shit."
yeah, no. So very specific ones are.
Yeah.
I probably don't have any of them, but some are.
So on the list that I'm looking at of highest grossing franchises, Pokemon, where do you think it lands?
I'm gonna say somewhere in the top 7.
Yeah, it comes in, according to this list, number 1, $98.8 billion.
Wow.
Okay. That is higher than I figured it would be.
Oh, suddenly money is going to be the deciding factor here. Oh, I see what we're doing now.
Oh, no. It still shouldn't be super high up, but I would expect this to be like a 5.
Messing around. Yeah, I feel like it's the top world franchise. Yeah. I know that those that liked it a lot. Yeah, super popular. Yeah. I don't get it, but I mean, I'm glad that everyone loves it so much. Several theatrical movies.
It brought me great joy as a child.
Several theatrical movies?
Was there
the entire franchise prints money? Yeah, 98 billion. Fuck around.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Merchandise is where most of it was made.
That's astounding.
Games,
video games.
So did what came out for? Did the cards predate? Was the show based on the card game, or was the card game based on the like? What came out first?
I'm pretty sure that they started with the show.
Oh, okay, all right.
For the cartoon, I think so.
Yeah. I know the
franchise
cartoon
originated as a pair of role-playing games.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Oh,
it's on Game Boy. Yeah.
Oh, on the game. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I meant. I remember it being enormously popular on the Game Boy.
There was 2 games.
Oh yeah.
There
Red
was
and Blue or something. Or
yeah,
Red and
something
Blue.
like that.
Is that what they were? Yeah. I remember those being like bonkers. Like every fucking buddy had those 2 games.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where does it go on the list?
We need to see.
It has video games, Mega Bloks, Squishmallows, theatrical release, theme parks. Still as popular as when I was a kid, more even.
Yeah, but it didn't exist when we were kids.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 of us
are the youngest franchise on this list, right?
They are. That's true.
Yeah, but
oh, actually, maybe not. It might be older than SpongeBob. I don't know.
It would be older than SpongeBob. Yes,
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Is
even
it?
know it was a cartoon. Like I knew it was a cartoon, but I didn't think it was something I could watch on my TV.
Oh yeah, no, it was like a 25-minute like on YTV, on Teletoon, on any of those. Yeah.
Yeah. We got to
Mm-hmm.
go on YouTube to find it now, but
Well, yeah, for sure. Pokemans. So where do we put the Pokemans on the list? Let's bring the list up.
What is
I would put it at like 4 or 5, but I know that you guys probably aren't going to want it above TMNT.
I don't know.
I mean, it's hard to argue that as impactful as TMNT was to our generation, Pokemon was just as impactful to our kids' generation, right? Our kids they freaking loved Pokemon, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Again, when you talk about the whole anime wave of everything, I mean, Pokemon was at the forefront of that, right? So it's hard to underestimate the impact that it's had, especially on today's youth, right?
And when I was looking it up, they even said that Pokemon was the first one that started a wave of bringing in other shows like Sailor Moon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And like those specific style.
Okay, so what are you?
Megan, it's your pick. Where would you like it to go?
You said 4
I would
or
like
5.
it to go at 4.
Yeah, I'd be okay with 4.
Yeah, 98 billion is pretty goddamn convincing. I would probably say 4 as well.
Yeah.
Really hard to argue with those kind of nothing gets that much money by not being enormously popular.
Mm-hmm. All righty.
Love Scooby-Doo. Even Pokemon is better known today than Scooby. Andrew Saxon, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there's still an element of I like this more than the other ones. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Shut up. Within the one, I think Scooby-Doo is more widely known. Pokemon is very well known below a certain age group.
Very certain demographic of people, whereas everybody knows Scooby-Doo. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, anybody
Rob,
older
the
than
bad
me
guy.
doesn't know Pokemon at all.
Roberto, how about a better pick than He-Man? You fuck. I'm just kidding. You pick whatever you want.
You know what? I'm gonna play your game and the Looney Tune game here, and this was never on my list until I started looking at that criteria.
Sure.
Mickey Mouse and Friends.
Mickey Mouse.
Do they have Saturday morning cartoons?
They did.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna fuck this list up a little bit here.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse and Friends, and then they had, I think, Mickey Mouse Funhouse, and then they had the Mickey Mouse something club.
It's almost been around 100 years. 1928. Number 2, $62 billion, $61.2 billion.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Mickey Mouse bought Marvel, Star Wars, everything.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse bought them all. Yeah.
So as a Saturday morning cartoon, hey, just like, is it though? Is it? Yeah.
Oh, I'm just looking it up. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's an oblique reference. Mickey Mouse and Friends is the official name used by the Walt Disney Company when referring to Mickey Mouse and his ensemble of classic Disney characters, most of which debuted in animated theatrical shorts. I don't know that the show was called Mickey Mouse and Friends.
I think it was called Funhouse.
There was Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Oh my
God.
Clubhouse.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was a long-running American variety television show that began in 1955, televised by ABC, but I didn't think that was Saturday morning.
So I Googled it. It said, yep, Mickey Mouse is featured in several Sunday morning cartoon blocks. Okay. So, but I guess according to I think where you're going here, not necessarily narrowing it down to a particular show.
A show, yeah.
On several of them.
Yeah. So
yes,
I can see here there was Good Morning Mickey, there was Mickey Mornings, there was Mickey Mouse Works, there was The House of Mouse, there was Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
I mean, you're going to put Looney Tunes on there. This has got to go on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I feel like we need a show though. Like there has to be one show that we're talking about. It wasn't like an ideal or whatever. Like it had to be like a specific show. And I'm just looking for like a cartoon that aired on Saturday mornings.
Mickey Mouse Works.
Because I thought Mickey Mouse Club and Clubhouse, wasn't that like a live action show?
No.
Well, they had live action people on it because there are certain celebrities that were on Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, like when they were
Sorry,
kids,
they
that
may
became
have had
celebrities.
live action segments
Right.
within because I think the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was like
Oh.
the 2 hour bit.
Okay, would
right?
that lean? I was gonna say, would that lean more like Barney then, rather than like the Saturday morning cartoons that we're aiming for?
DuckTales.
I love DuckTales. DuckTales is like dope as shit.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm changing it to DuckTales then.
Okay,
Forget
let's
it.
do DuckTales.
DuckTales. Let's do DuckTales.
All right, Mickey Mouse has been scratched. We are moving over to DuckTales. There we go. DuckTales.
I mean, all of the like top list here is most of them I never even thought of or watched, right?
Mhm.
DuckTales. Ooh.
Woo.
Anyway, yeah, DuckTales was on every single list I looked at.
DuckTales quite good.
How many
guess
seasons of DuckTales
The
were
question is where does that go?
there? Above He-Man, I would say.
I would probably put it higher than that. I might even put it above. Well, I don't know.
Let's see the list.
Let's see the list.
Ran for 4 seasons, 100 episodes for DuckTales.
Put it at 7.
And 1 film. Running time was 22 minutes. Then it was put into syndication after that. They rebooted it in 2017, where it ran for another 4 seasons. And the spinoff, of course, was Darkwing Duck.
Okay, I just want to bring up here some information that was provided after the fact. And Nicole Boland here is saying Mickey Mouse Club equals Ryan Gosling. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse equals the cartoon. And Jennifer is saying the same thing. Mickey Mouse Club was live action with singers from the 60s and 80s, where Clubhouse was a cartoon on Disney Junior.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like the fact that none of us know this kind of says something.
Yeah, I agree. So, DuckTales. Where do we put DuckTales? At 4?
What?
I mean,
Not that high.
7?
is DuckTales a spin-off of
6.
Looney Tunes though?
Oh,
No,
is it?
it's Mickey Mouse. They're
Donald Duck,
Donald
yeah,
Duck's
right.
nephews.
Yeah.
Right.
Huey,
Okay.
Louie, and
All
Dewey.
right.
That go
I'm
to
getting all
Uncle
those
Scrooge's.
100-year-old cartoons mixed up.
Uncle Scrooge was the Scrooge
Scrooge.
McDuck, right? Was
Yeah.
the initial.
Yeah.
When
yeah,
Donald Duck decides to join the U.S. Navy, he enlists his uncle Scrooge McDuck to look after his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Although reluctant to do so due to their hyperactivity, along with his continual pursuit of increasing his wealth and maintaining harsh business ethics. Wow, this sounds like a really cheery fucking show.
Scrooge McDuck, the single richest fictional character.
The Jeff
Yeah.
Bezos
With
before
this
Jeff
big
Bezos,
pool
right?
of gold coins that he takes a swim in.
Exactly.
Yep.
So, okay, where you want to put him? 7? Is that what you guys are saying?
There's
I
6.
don't care.
I don't give a shit anymore. You guys didn't like my first pick, so this is like my fuck you pick.
Jeff?
I think I initially said 7, but it wasn't my choice.
Yeah, I tend to agree with 7. Yeah. There we go.
Okay.
Oops. There we go. Okay.
Well, it's your turn, J.S. McDuck.
Oh, it's my turn.
Mhm.
Let's see here. How about Battle of the Planets? Or like it was called in certain countries, G-Force. Actually, funny enough, in French, it was called G-Force or Force G. And Battle of the Planets was a bunch of kids that basically became superheroes. And this was one of these Japanese shows that were brought over and re-edited for American consumption. And they flew in this jet thing that was like a stealth style jet that, when they would go into like whatever speed, it would turn into a phoenix. It would light on fire and turn into a phoenix. Listen, if you've never seen Battle of the Planets or G-Force, it also had a Japanese live action movie. It had many reboots. I don't think it's going to be very, very high on this list, but I think Battle of the Planets needs to be. Oh, the Micronauts. I remember the Micronauts. Gotcha Man. Yeah.
No idea what this is.
You've never heard
I
any of this?
am also drawing a blank on this.
Wow.
one.
Wow. Somebody even mentioned Battle of the Planets in the comments earlier. I'm surprised none of you
I'm
guys
sorry.
even know this. So okay, I guess it will go at number 9. And Jeff, you can move on now.
Sorry, buddy. It's rough when that happens. Yeah, I got a couple, and I'm concerned. You know what? Because this is a geek channel, and I think we have to do some geek things. And I know this is a time one, but still, the Super Friends.
Mm-hmm.
See, look at the look on Megan's goddamn face. If I could just smack the look off of someone's goddamn face.
I don't know what that is.
So it's the original superhero cartoon
Justice League.
with DC. So it was the Hall of Justice and the Legion of Doom and the Wonder Twin. You've ever heard Wonder Twin powers activate? Have you ever heard that phrase, Megan?
Yes.
That's from Super Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, it was funny because the Wonder Twins were actually created for the show. They weren't actually in the comics, but it was like the Justice League. It was like Superman and Batman and Aquaman and Wonder Woman and Robin, and they had the Hall of Justice. So it was an enormously popular cartoon that hit syndication like a maniac. Like you could not, and it's been memed countless times. It was on for 13 years from 1973 to 1986, and even the what did I just watch? JS, that had the Super Friends universe? Oh, Crisis on Infinite Earths. They just did Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they had the Super Friends universe as one of the universes that was going to get destroyed in the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, yeah, so many memes, so many goddamn memes based on this fucking show. Yeah, Aquaman. Have you ever seen the Aquaman riding the fish?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got 2 fish strapped to his.
Yes.
That's Super
from
Friends.
there. That's from
Okay.
Michael Icon saying, "What's up?" That's another Super Friends one. Yeah. So, yes, and again, so Keith L saying the Hall of Justice that was introduced on Super Friends. So, by the way,
really?
a little trivia, especially for you, JS. And if Erica's listening or watching, she should probably know this too. But the guy that narrated "Meanwhile at the Hall of Justice," was the guy in Caddyshack, the Judge Smales.
No,
same dude.
That's hilarious.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's funny how some of these. Yeah, listen, we should do an episode on that actually.
Just dumbass trivia facts.
Yeah, just crazy
Yeah.
facts around the geekdom.
On the
Super
current
Friends
top 30 list I'm looking at right now, it's actually sitting at number 5. Yeah, and it had long before the current DC cinematic universe got Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman together to tangle with evil. The cartoon Super Friends had them join forces with even more superheroes: Aquaman, Wonder Twins, Green Lantern. You got Brainiac, Toyman, Lex Luthor, Mirror Master, Mr. Mxyzptlk, Darkseid. Those were all on the Super Friends. So, and it ran for over a decade. So, I don't know where you guys would be. Ted Knight, thank you, Keith. Yeah, I don't know where you guys would put it. Personally, if I'm looking at the list, I would probably put it around 8.
Yeah, it has to be around 7
8 or
9.
for
Me. Yeah, or even 9.
I feel like the big thing with Super Friends is it kind of ushered in the era of superhero cartoons as well, right? Like I don't know how much superhero cartooning was happening. There was one that we haven't talked about yet that predates this. That was also enormously popular. Had probably the catchiest theme song of any fucking cartoon ever, but I'm sure someone's going to mention it. But I had to say Super Friends because I'm a DC guy. So, yes, thank you, Andre, for spoiling it. That's correct.
Yeah, this was the answer to that. Super Friends was the answer to the other Friends.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
does whatever a spider can. Was that on Saturday mornings?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
All right. Oh, Pink Panther. What a good pick. Anyways, so I would probably say 8 or 9 for I would probably say 8.
Yeah, I'd be okay with 8. Everybody good with 8?
Yes.
Good.
Let's crush through some of these now.
Alrighty. Whose turn is it? It's Megan's turn.
Okay. I'll stick on that sort of theme. I have Teen Titans on my list.
Which one?
I mean, mine's the late 90s version, not Teen Titans Go, but I know, yes, the original. I think they only had like 2 seasons of it, but that was the superhero things of my childhood. I was so into that. And then I started watching like the X-Men cartoons and that, but it started with Teen Titans.
Yeah, I'll say Teen Titans. I think I was much older, obviously. I mean, these only came out in the last 10 or 15 years, I think, that show came out.
It was 2000?
Was it that long ago? 2003? Wow.
I was going to say, it was when I was in like early grade school.
20 years
so yeah,
ago
it would have been
already.
like between 2000 and like 2005.
Yeah.
I was in early grade school. Fuck you, Megan.
Either way, it was a great show.
So sorry.
I was almost graduating college.
Yeah.
Never watched it.
Yeah, in 2003, I had graduated.
I already had a bad hip.
Yeah.
I was 30. I was 30.
Yeah.
I was older than Megan is now.
I had already switched away from cable by
That's
then.
hilarious.
How fucking sad is that?
You were older than
I was older in 2003 than Megan is sitting there right now. Christ almighty. What am I doing here on this goddamn podcast?
We're just gonna give Jeff an existential crisis during this list. That's fine.
This
Mhm.
generational gap here is making this list hard.
That's why we wanted to bridge the gap, right? Like 3 old guys just
I am
picking
here
their
to
favorites
help.
from the 80s. Yeah,
Yeah. It would have been just
really
10
work, right? So
toys.
I'm here to help.
a bad hip. Yeah. You and me both, Jeff. Yeah, Keith, you're actually a couple years older than me, so you feel it, buddy. Where does it go?
What
on
was
the
the
list?
pick again?
Anyways, yes, Teen Titans.
Teen Titans. That's
The
right.
OG Teen Titans. Yeah.
Teen Titans. For me, it was a great show. As far as what it meant to cartoons and to Saturday mornings and the cultural impact it had, I don't think it was anywhere close to any of these other ones, as far as I'm concerned.
I definitely think it was about Battle of the Planets.
I would agree with that.
I don't know about that, but I mean, if you say so. It's not Baba Black Sheep. It's Baja Bad Hip. There you go.
Exactly.
Sorry, you have it above Battle of the Planet, so you have it at number 10. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
All right, I'm good. With
I mean, I'm just saying that. It's Megan. It's your pick. What do you think?
I mean, I would appreciate if it was on number 10 because I have no idea what Battle of the Planets is, and I watched Teen Titans.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna have to remove this one, I guess, and I'm gonna put Teen Titans at number 10. Alrighty, Roberto.
I don't know. This is getting harder for me. I don't even know where to go now.
Submitted some pretty good suggestions over in the chat. Someone just brought up a pretty good one as well.
They're so niche. What's the one you're
Some of them
referring
are pretty
to?
niche. Yeah. Someone said Care Bears, and I feel like that's a pretty popular one overall.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that in the right?
popular,
Like,
but it wasn't like that was very.
I was saying, is
talking
that
about
in the right?
cultural
yeah.
limitation? That's a very narrow one.
No, I agree, but I mean, we're kind of like scraping the bottom of the barrel. I mean, you could mention
Yeah.
Spider-Man from the '60s, like
I was
we kind
thinking of
brought
that, but
up.
even then, like it was only for a short period of time. I hated. Let's put it on the list. I hated it at the time.
Right.
It doesn't represent my feelings towards the Spider-Man franchise, but I
Sure.
fucking hated it because at that point it was already 30 years old.
Right.
It was like retro when I was watching it as a kid, and I
Yeah.
hated at the time it was poor animation. It just
right. Yeah. From the
felt
60s.
Now, is that the one that the
Right.
pointing Spider-Man thing is from?
Yeah,
Correct. It's
Yeah.
literally the song. The song that the Spider-Man
Mhm.
song that the entire world knows is from that show.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
does whatever a spider can.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
from that show. Yeah.
That's from that show. Yeah.
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 That they've tried to pretty much
Um,
insert in almost. I know Raimi put it into every one of his Spider-Man, and I think it was both in both the Amazing Spider-Man movies too. They found a way to sneak it in there somewhere. So
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like just the song itself makes it that it like is welcome on the list.
Dean, I do Rocket Robin Hood, Hercules. Oh, dude, those are my jam back in the day. None of that makes this
Yeah.
list, but those are my jam, man. I fucking love those shows.
Mhm.
That's the thing. Everything on my list I don't think is gonna make the list, right?
Yeah,
We'll
I
have
feel
to
like we're
run
kind of
through,
at like
the
honorable
real
mention section
Ghostbusters.
now.
The Real Ghostbusters was on a bunch of lists that I saw as
Yeah,
far
that's
as like
on
a
my
top
list.
30. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was
on
Yeah,
my
nice.
I had that at number 6 on my personal list, Real Ghostbusters. So I'll put that on the list.
Yeah, it was
Officially.
very popular.
Well, okay. So do we put
Um,
Spider-Man on the list? Do we think that breaks the top 10?
It's not my pick, at all. I mean, a lot of people.
So, do you want the real
Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters to be your pick then?
Sure, let's put that on the list.
Okay.
And I would put that above He-Man for me. Just
Me too.
tying that
I would
into
probably put that over Super Friends for me, to be honest. Maybe even above DuckTales.
because I don't think that cartoon came.
I have no context for it, but
It came after.
Well,
the first movie,
JS
didn't
is
I?
definitely showing his bias for Ghostbusters. Don't get me wrong, but
So am I.
no, I know, dude. I love Ghostbusters. I love that show. Popularity wise, I don't know if it would be above the ones you just mentioned, but it would definitely be on the list.
I had no idea that there was a cartoon of Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it was called The Real Ghostbusters because there was already another cartoon called Ghost Space Busters. So they couldn't call it the Ghostbusters, so they called it The Real Ghostbusters. And they were very colorful, right? They changed their uniforms, and Slimer was now their friend. Like, he was part of the gang.
Well,
He's
that's
on
why
the
he's called
team.
Slimer. I think he was named Slimer on the show. I don't
He
think
was. He
called
didn't have a
Slimer
name
until
before
the
that.
show.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that made him quite popular. And then I think they sold a shit ton of toys too, if I'm not mistaken. I think they sold a shit ton of
sure.
toys.
Yeah. And that's why they brought Slimer back for the second movie, because now everybody knew who Slimer was and everybody had a name for him, right? So he showed up driving the bus in the second movie.
Ghostbusters trying to be the Scooby Gang. Yeah, same vibes for sure.
It was for sure. No, that
Megan,
was.
I share your confusion on many of these show existence, Victoria. That's why we invited you to be on, but you said no.
You know, so happens
It's
when
the same with like that's why there's just such a hard conversation from the generational gaps.
Yeah,
we
of
have
course.
here.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that was kind of the point we were trying to go for, because we wanted to make sure it wasn't just the same three guys picking the same fucking shows over and over. Like, it would have been too easy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
want a
I was gonna
girl,
say,
we
most of the
want her
ones that are on
younger.
this list now. Yeah, most of
Made
the
us
ones on
stay
this list now
above
I've
Deadpool.
either watched or know of at least.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with it at 7 if you guys are okay with it at 7. It's not
I'm cool
higher
with
than
that.
7.
No.
And even 7 seems high.
certainly
but
not
I mean,
above SpongeBob. That's for sure.
No. A new animated Ghostbusters animated show is coming on Netflix. There you go.
I did not know
nice.
that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like it doesn't tie into the movies as well. Like
Yeah,
that
it
show
ties into
exists
Ghostbusters.
because of the films and stuff. So yeah, and now they've had like 4 films in that franchise and such. So yeah, no, for sure.
All right.
Even though I love DuckTales.
Is it my turn? I'm gonna go back to Jen's list here because I kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. The
there's more than-
one on here that I think has to get mentioned, if none other, is Charlie Brown.
Huh.
Another one of those
Was he
shows.
Saturday morning?
Is that Saturday morning?
I don't remember
Already-
ever seeing that Saturday mornings.
Really?
I don't think so. Was it even a weekly cartoon, or was it just the specials that all came out? I don't even remember it being a weekly cartoon.
So I was gonna say, I know like the movies, obviously, like it's the Great Pumpkin and stuff, but
That's what I mean. I don't remember it being weekly, but yeah, I don't think Flintstones was Saturday morning either.
Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show.
Flintstones wasn't.
It was a
originally
series
prime time
made for Saturday morning.
Charlie Brown and Snoopy Show. I don't know if I've even ever seen that.
From 1983. Oh, it only lasted 2 seasons.
oh, yeah, no. Honestly,
I think
not
when
for
you're thinking of Charlie Brown, you're thinking
not
of the
for a
Great
Saturday
Pumpkin.
morning
You're thinking
cartoon.
of- yeah.
There's the Peanuts Show.
Okay.
Okay.
It ran, which is also a Charlie Brown show. It ran. Let's see here. Come on, where are the years?
Andre's fighting hard for Batman the Animated Series.
No, that's also
Charlie
a newer
Brown and
show.
the Snoopy Show, 1983 to 1985.
Yeah.
That was
So
still
okay, maybe that
in
doesn't make
diapers.
the list. Okay, so let me go back to Jen's list here. Let's see what else we can mention. Inspector Gadget. We didn't mention Inspector Gadget.
Gadgets
Okay,
on my
yeah.
list.
Gadget's on your list, is it? Yeah.
Get your gadget next time.
Yeah.
That was
again
really fucking good.
another one of those.
By the way, Frank Welker, same guy that did Megatron, same guy that did Soundwave.
Frank
Welker
Welker
was the
was
voice
the
of
villain?
Dr. Claw. Dr. Claw was
Really?
Frank Welker. Yep.
Oh, I didn't
Yes,
know
sir.
that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. No, Inspector Gadget, especially if you're Canadian, like fuck around. Like
Yeah.
that show was everything.
Inspector
man.
Gadget.
Mm-hmm.
I love
And it had
Inspector
live
Gadget.
action movies, and it had spin-offs, and it had a bunch of.
It's the reason I'm wearing a fucking smartwatch.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it was clearly an homage to Get Smart, obviously it was an homage to that, right? All the different gadgets, and he even sounded like the actor that originally was on Get Smart. But it wasn't like it's just a straight up pastiche for that. It was like its own thing, right? Penny and the dog Brain were always the one solving everything, and he was just getting into all kinds of like weird shit. And Deep Dive Saturday morning cartoon on ABC, Nightmare Ned. Never even heard of that, Scott.
Nightmare Ned.
Never even heard of it. Yeah, same with me, Dean. I remember specials for Charlie Brown. Yeah, same. Because I think those specials hit so hard, and because they were seasonal as well, so that you remember them. You tied them into a season or a holiday. Like, you can't have Halloween and not watch The Great Pumpkin. Like, it just doesn't, like, you're like, what's wrong with you at that point, right?
Yep.
So,
another thing I'm Googling.
Somebody playing football there?
I don't I have no idea. The walls here are super thin. So, like, I don't know. I think they're bowling next door. I don't know what's going on.
Someone's just breaking into Jeff's house. He'll be fine.
Fine. It's fine. Fight them off with something. So sorry. So, what's the pick?
Inspector Gadget?
Inspector Gadget. Where does it go on the list?
Gadget. Go Gadget.
Whatever.
Helicopter.
Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say, I'm good with Inspector Gadget making the list. I know it and have seen at least some of it.
Where does it go?
Where, let's pop up the list here.
Yeah, JS, bring up the goddamn. Where does it go on the list? Figure it out from memory. I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'd be good with it at 9.
I'm getting to that.
I would
Jen,
put it
that's
way
my pick.
higher than that.
Okay, yeah, or
Higher?
Inspector Gadget, somewhere between like 7 and 9. Unless you want to move SpongeBob, I'm cool
7
with,
is the ceiling for me. It's not above SpongeBob. Absolutely not above SpongeBob. But I mean, 7 would be the ceiling for sure.
Yeah.
Rob, it's not higher than that.
Trying to think.
And
all right, I'm willing to split
higher
it
than
down the middle and put it at 8. How's that?
Yeah, I was gonna say 8.
Yeah, 8.
All right, let's split it down the middle. This is stupid.
I can't believe it took this long before things started. There's Megan's nail, everybody, just in case you're curious what that looked like.
Hi, sorry, my computer started dying. You need to plug that back in.
All right, Inspector Gadget has made the list.
Inspector
for now.
Gadget.
Who's
By
next?
the way,
Who's
that
next?
might be one of the few picks where everybody in this channel knew what we were talking about and was familiar with it. Like, other than the top ones, but I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, even Megan didn't go, "What the fuck was that?" and Rob didn't go, "What the fuck was that?" Like, everybody knew Inspector Gadget, so I feel like that did a pretty good job of bridging the gap.
I can't believe Michael knows.
Barbara Papa, Barbara Mama, Barbara Baby. Of course, man.
What?
I love the. Are you fucking kidding me? I loved the Barbara Papa, sir.
Hip hip hip.
Loved the Barbara Papa.
In French,
clickety click, Barbara trick.
Okay, so in French, he would say hip hip hip, Barbara trick, and then he would transform, right?
Yeah,
I can't believe you guys know this.
Megan looks like scarred that we're even.
I cannot believe it. So these were gelatinous blobs.
Are you saying words?
Yeah, so there were the Barbara Papas and you had Barbara Papa and Barbara Mama and the whole
Barbara
family of
Baby
these gelatinous creatures that
they look like Grimace
shape,
from
right?
McDonald's. That's kind of what they look like, right?
Yeah.
But they could take the shape of almost anything. Like, they could turn into a couch or a boat or a plane or whatever, and to change shape, that's what he would say. In English, he would say clickety click, Barbara trick, and then he would change into something. Yeah, I love that show, man.
Sorry, what was the pick again?
I don't think we have one right
now. The
now.
last thing was Inspector Gadget that I think you picked, and now Jen said the one out loud that I was going to pick next was la 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 la.
Yes, again another one that lasted for ages and that had multiple shows and live action movies and I mean theatrically released live action movies.
There was TV cartoons for Smurfs.
Oh yeah, that's how it started. It was actually a French cartoon.
There was TV cartoons.
Yeah.
9 seasons on NBC, 2 Daytime Emmy Awards, a Kids' Choice Award. And then we had, oh my God, I can't tell you how many Smurfs toys we had between me and my sisters. Like, just shit, I hate the
vinyl Smurfs.
Too bad. Yeah, it's a little blue vinyl Smurfs. And we always, I literally referenced the Smurfs today at work, talking with even like someone that was much younger, talking about how there was only one chick in that village, Smurfette. That was it. So they were just running a train on that girl.
I was trying to think what
all the time. Yeah. Like, how do Smurfs procreate? They're all taking a turn.
And
on
she didn't
Smurfette.
come in till like season 2 or 3, because in the first season or 2 there was no Smurfette.
There was no Smurfette,
right? It was all boy Smurfs.
Yeah.
So make whatever you want out of
that's
that, 'cause
why,
there's
Jennifer.
a lot
There
of
you
them.
go. McDonald's had several years of Smurfs Happy Toy Meals. Okay,
Yeah.
They did.
that makes sense as to why I had so goddamn
Yeah,
many.
same
of them.
here.
They did.
We still have.
Yeah.
I think we still have some.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably. And again, same thing. Like, I get this is the same thing. It's like a moment in time, right? Like from in the 80s, if you were a kid in the 80s, you couldn't throw you'd had to go into Russia to not find someone that didn't know what the Smurfs were. And I understand probably come like the 2000s, everybody's like, what the fuck is a Smurf? But have you at least heard of the Smurfs before, Megan?
Oh yeah, no, like I know what
Okay.
Smurfs are. Like I've seen things from it. I just didn't know that there was like a like Saturday morning cartoon style. I thought they just had like movies and stuff.
Oh, I see. No, the cartoon is where it all started.
It's the OG and all.
And
And
the
the thing
rest
is,
of
I
it
feel like it's from
knockoff.
overseas. I feel like it's from like,
It's from France or Belgium, but it's a French
I thought
show.
it was like Denmark. Yeah, somewhere
would
over
say
in
the hats
Europe
make
that
sense for that,
created
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's a French
for
show.
sure. Yeah, Gargamel. I don't remember the cat's name, but the bad guy was
Azrael.
Gargamel. Azrael was the cat. That's
Yes.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Such
I don't
a
think they
good
procreate at
name.
all. Jeff likes to think of small blue people orgies. You don't know my kinks. Shut up, Nicole. Why do you gotta be? I told you that. I told you that in private. I can't believe you're saying that out loud. Tintin was French. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yes.
Actually, Tintin was from Belgium, I believe.
Was it? Either way, the Smurfs were for a good decade and a half were amongst the most popular things on planet Earth. So I feel like they should probably be on the list somewhere.
Smurfs are also from Belgium. Smurfs is a Belgium.
I thought it was
franchise.
Denmark. You're right, Belgium. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You called it. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of the
Belgium
French
just turning out them
cartoons.
cartoons.
Yeah, a lot of the French cartoons that we got in Quebec when I grew up were from Belgium. For some reason, they made a lot of cartoons there. I don't know what the deal was, but yeah.
Cool.
Neil Patrick Harris played Gargamel, didn't he?
In the
Oh,
live
that's what I'm
action, I
thinking of.
think.
Yes.
No, sorry,
Yeah.
Hank Azaria.
Oh, it was
played
Hank Azaria?
Gargamel.
There you go.
There was a lot of people in this movie.
1958.
Holy shit!
Made $1 billion.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of like
box
the
office.
live action quote unquote ones.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rob, what was that?
At the box office, it apparently made $1.1 billion.
Get the fuck out of town. Are you for real?
Yeah, let me see.
The
where I
Smurfs
can-
movie made over $1 billion? Wild.
Hold on, I'm gonna look into
All
it.
of them combined.
Well, it's got to be all of them combined. That's what
Oh,
it's
okay.
the box office
franchise.
Well, okay. Well,
Right.
so I
So
didn't
the
even know, I didn't even
Smurfs-
know there was more than even one live action film.
There's like
Yeah.
3, I think.
Is there?
The first one in 2011 made $560 million worldwide.
Right. Sure. That makes more sense.
So the 3 movies together over $1 billion.
Yeah. Okay. I got you.
Hmm.
Where does it belong on the list?
Let's see the lists. If I do say so,
I don't
I'd
know,
say
we're
9 or
looking
10.
at- yeah, 9 or 10.
I'd say 9.
yeah, I'd be good with
I
9.
could live with it at 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or is this going to go crazy again? Of course it is.
Woo!
Formatting. So important.
Yeah, I got to fix this stupid template. This is, it's, I need some technical help, Rob.
What you guys in the chat are just all up on Alvin and the Chipmunks. So I'm going to ask the question again. Was that a Saturday morning cartoon? I don't remember watching Alvin and the Chipmunks Saturday morning. I loved it. Don't get me wrong. And I had the one album especially. And then you had the films, right? Was
Will
the
you fact check
cartoon
that?
Saturday mornings?
Don't think so.
It have 5 seasons.
Let's see.
I barely even remember this cartoon. Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, according to my little AI buddy here, it was indeed a Saturday morning cartoon. Originally aired as The Alvin Show, starting in the 1960s.
Oh,
But
wow.
gained popularity in '83 with Alvin and the Chipmunks, which
Alvin
ran
and
for
Chip.
7 years. It was a staple of Saturday morning television during the '80s.
It's not on. I've looked at so many fucking lists. It's not on. I haven't seen it once. That's wild.
My
It was
only thing when I
very
think of Alvin
high
and the Chipmunks is the movies that came out in like the mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Andre's losing his mind. Like Andre is about to he's coming to London Comic Con too. I have his free ticket, and he's probably just going to burn us to the ground.
I don't know what show he's talking about.
Yeah.
Didn't we cover Super Friends already?
Yeah, we did cover Super Friends. I don't know what he's.
Oh.
He's
I don't know.
literally out. He's freaking the fuck out. Yeah. Alvin and the Chipmunk. Yeah, I would probably say 9, right? 9 or 10 for Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah,
I might
I'd put it
be
somewhere.
inclined to even go higher.
Would you do 8?
I'd do 8.
I might even do 7. I think culturally, Alvin and the Chipmunks were a bigger thing than the real Ghostbusters. Megan didn't know what the real Ghostbusters were.
But
I
she knows
guarantee you,
what
my
Alvin-
Well, I was
mom
going to say,
knows
I
who
also
Alvin and
don't know the
Chipmunks are.
cartoon of Alvin and the Chipmunks. I just know the movie that came out later.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
fair
movie
enough. But at
doesn't-
least
the movie doesn't
well,
exist without. Yeah,
Yeah.
It came out because the cartoon and the albums and such were so successful. So I bet
Mhm.
you, as a franchise, it's probably done fairly well. Like everybody had that Christmas album in within a certain couple of decades.
I think I would be willing to put it over even Ghostbusters at 7. I would go as high as that.
Yeah,
You
we
guys
can do
think?
that. I'm fine with that. Whose pick is
Sure.
this?
No.
This just I think this just kind of came out of the chat.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but I think who was picking? Was it Rob picking?
I didn't pick this.
I didn't pick this.
I don't think
piece.
anyone picked it.
Shit.
I
This is
just
a
well, they
fan
were like,
favorite.
yeah, they had like 4 or 5 of them were just like it was just, they were talking about Alvin the whole time. So I was like, maybe we should talk about it. Yeah,
So who picked the Smurfs?
I did.
It's not even
then-
on my. It's not even
so
on.
then
the
it would be
list of
Megan's
highest
turn.
grossing movies, but
Okay. I was going to say, I don't know if any of the rest of mine would make the list. I'll just kind of rapid fire a few.
Sure.
So I have Yu-Gi-Oh! I have
Yeah.
Pingu, just for the lulz, because that penguin. Then I have one that would do it, but I don't think it was Saturday mornings, is the Magic School Bus.
Yeah, I think that was more of a
I think it was
afternoon,
weekday.
like an after school show.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Jennifer brings up a good point here. She says, to be fair, Saturday morning cartoons kind of ended early 2000s, so most on the list will be 60s to 90s, because that's the golden age of Saturday morning
Yeah.
cartoons. You're right. I mean, there still were some within the 2000s, but
Yeah,
and
there's
I
a
would
lot.
even go further and argue that the ones that were centered around selling toys. were
yeah,
probably the
exactly.
peak of all of that. right?
Yeah.
Because there is one that was a major toy seller that I'm kind of surprised we haven't brought up yet, especially since it went hand in hand with the third on our list.
Yeah,
Oh,
let's not go there.
That's
We're not-
that's
we're not
just sick.
We're not
I
done.
didn't say we were done. I'm just saying. I
let's-
said I was
let's-
surprised that
Get our panties in a knot here.
my panties are.
it's
cinch
Megan's
tight, sir. They're fine.
turn right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you brought up what did you bring up again?
So I was gonna say I did Yu-Gi-Oh, Sailor
Yeah.
Moon,
Yeah.
Pingu for the shout out, and then
Yeah.
Magic School Bus. But Magic School Bus was a weekday show, so it does not count.
Yeah, the Sailor Moon I don't know. Do you think that breaks the top 10?
I think it would, but I don't know how much it reached other demographics.
Was it Saturday morning or was it a weekday show?
I'm pretty sure that it did Saturday mornings, at least every once in a while.
Well, let's
I say, can anyone fact check me? I have a book over my keypad, so I cannot type.
Rob's just done with everything right now, so let me Sailor.
let's see here. Actually, it was not.
Okay.
Sailor Moon was a Saturday night primetime show at 7 p.m.
Okay. Never mind then. We is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, all right. Good honorable mentions, but yeah, I don't know that any one of those break the list. Rob,
Yeah, I don't think so.
have any other? I have a couple that I'm pretty sure are going to break the list here.
I mean, I got 3 more on the list I put together that
Yeah.
haven't come up.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to just say them all? They might.
Well, you can start with one.
Garfield and Friends.
Oh, we didn't talk about Garfield. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if that breaks. I mean,
I didn't
maybe.
realize that it was a show and not just a comic.
Oh,
my
it
God,
did
how
have
old
a
are you making?
TV show. Yeah.
Do you remember when I said that in 2003? I was older than Megan is now.
I thought that it was just like a comic in the newspaper.
No, no, it was. You know what? I'm pretty sure it was a show for a
No,
while.
it was no, and it was a
definitely
Seven
popular
had-
show, too.
seasons.
and
yeah.
it definitely
Yeah,
had.
no,
yeah,
it was a popular
tons of
show.
movies.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
7 seasons that started in 1988. It was based on the comics.
There we go.
Uh,
Not completely out of it. There's a comic.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, no,
It
no,
started
no.
as a
It
comic
started
strip.
as a comic, but it
mean-
became popular because of the cartoon,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like a lot of other things, right?
It's kind of one of my honorable mentions. It's certainly better than some of the other picks I had here, but
Honorable mentions are cool.
Do we think this breaks the top 10?
No,
no.
No. Okay.
I don't
No.
think so.
I'm not 100.
The only other one I want to keep trolling Andre here till the very end of this. That's the only other one.
Yeah, I have purposely not mentioned it at this point, just because I want to keep it for like the last one at this point.
If he stops responding, he's literally had a coronary and someone needs to check on him. Just so we're clear.
Sorry, Andre.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
love you,
yeah.
buddy. We love
Yeah.
you, man.
We do love you, Andy. God damn, Victoria. I was 2 in 2003, says Victoria Brown.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I have
Thundercats.
shirts. I have shirts older than Victoria, so I mean I get it.
So Thundercats. So Thundercats is a
I'm
good
out
one.
of, like list
Um,
breakers here.
I feel like Thundercats was one of them that was really, really popular for a couple of years and then
Very short period of time.
kind of dropped
Kinda
off.
And then
And the
same thing. I
ones-
think it was mostly with guys. I know
Yeah.
some boys,
Yeah.
but even I never really got into Thundercats. Like I knew it existed, but I don't know if I ever even watched it. It was never my
I
jam.
loved it.
Yeah,
I have no idea what it is.
Favorite. You don't know what the
Yeah,
Thundercats
well-
are? Oh my god. Thundercats. 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 Oh. And then they had like the rock and roll intro. Oh yeah, it was. Oh yeah, I love Thundercats back in the
was
day.
sick,
But yeah,
yo.
I don't know that it breaks this top 10 lists. I don't.
No, I'm kind of out of top 10 breakers here.
Okay, so I'll throw one that Jeff was alluding to because I feel like we're getting towards the end here. Voltron.
That's super. now, what are you talking about?
That's not what you
That
were
is-
referring to.
No,
What
I
would you
figured that
refer
he was
to?
going for Power Rangers.
no.
It's also not a cartoon.
Okay.
I'm going to say Voltron. I don't think that one
Okay,
breaks
cool.
the top 10. But
It super doesn't.
what were you thinking?
G.I. fucking Joe.
Oh.
Yeah.
They always paired it up with when I was watching it. It would be an hour.
You're
You
right.
would get Transformers and you would get
And
G.I.
G.I. Joe. They even
And you
had a
wanna talk about
crossover
launching a
line of
fucking
toys.
toy line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
our buddy Ed there had built an entire shed in his backyard. It's just full of G.I. Joe shit.
Mhm.
Andrew Saxon saying G.I. Joe, of course. Yeah, they made a couple live action films. I mean,
Yeah.
Channing Tatum played G.I. Joe for God's sakes. Like it's been
Oh.
around. Like the doll's been around since like the 50s, I think. So when they did the Real American Hero thing in the 80s, I didn't know G.I. Joe was a cartoon. Oh, geez.
Yeah, me either. I knew about the dolls and like the live action.
Where
Have you heard the phrase "and knowing is half the battle"?
Yes. Yes.
G.I. Joe cartoon. That phrase was born from the G.I. Joe cartoon.
Okay.
Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe, Real American.
is that not
Hero.
who like
G.I. Joe
Captain
was there.
America Chris Evans is ripping off in his like public service?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they're
'cause they
doing.
used to-
They're
at the end of every
yes.
G.I. Joe episode, they would do a PSA.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
100%.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
who Chris Evans would. Yeah.
And then a couple years into the GI Joe run, there was a wrestler that was really, really popular called Sergeant Slaughter, and he became a GI Joe character.
Yeah,
And then Sergeant Slaughter was just another one of the GI Joes.
that's correct.
That's
Yeah.
like, yeah, GI Joe was a big thing.
Again, more
Um,
probably on the boy side than on the girl side, obviously. But as
And
far
in
as like,
that toy category, right?
it's
Like we could
100%
sum
in
all
the
that
toy
up
category.
into one entry on this list.
Absolutely. You could bundle that with Transformers. It wouldn't be number 3, don't get me wrong, but it was tied heavily into. In fact, I think they even did crossovers like in the comics and shit.
They did, and they
Between
did a
those two.
crossover toy
Yeah.
line. They had transforming GI Joe vehicles.
Yeah. That's what I thought. I knew there was some stuff that was.
Yeah.
Joe needs to be on the list, saying Michael Icon. Do a couple more. Victoria and I need to tell you we've never heard of it. Yeah, thanks, Nicole. We really appreciate your support.
Here's one
here.
you
Dean
probably
is
never
saying
heard of, Astro Boy.
He-Man and the Master of the
Astro
Universe.
Boy.
Unfortunately,
Astro Boy.
He-Man has already been bumped off the list, Dean.
Yeah, we did
Astro
have
Boy
He-Man
was
early
another
on.
one on my list.
Thanks. Dean vindicating me here a little bit.
Yeah, I think Astro Boy would definitely be like an honorable mention. I don't think it would crack the top 10.
So where do we put the Joes?
Let's see.
Scott, we lumped the Animaniacs in with Looney Tunes since it was like it was determined via Google that it's in the same universe. So not true, Jeff. I love G.I. Joe and He-Man and Transformers. Thanks, Marcy. I was generalizing. I wasn't specifically saying girls couldn't like that. It was definitely geared more towards dudes than it was towards.
It was marketed towards
the lady.
Yeah, the core demographic, the target audience.
Jennifer Walters say
wow, over Pokemon.
Really?
Let's see the list. There we go.
I'd say G.I. Joe would be like 6.
Yeah, I could probably live with it at 6.
Yeah, I mean, so let's, you know what? Let's just go through the list again, just for the people that are listening in and maybe not watching here.
Go ahead.
We're looking at number 1, the Looney Tunes. Number 2, again, we kind of lumped in Animaniacs with the Looney Tunes. Number 2, Scooby-Doo. Again, we're lumping in all of the Scooby-Doo shows. Number 3, Transformers. Number 4, Pokemon. Number 5, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number 6, SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 7, Alvin and the Chipmunks. Number 8, the Real Ghostbusters. Number 9, Inspector Gadget, and number 10, the Smurfs. I think I'd be okay with 6. Yeah, are we all in agreement?
Yeah.
Joe?
Because as someone who doesn't know really either of the franchises very well, I still know more about Turtles than I do about Joe.
And the Smurfs.
Right. The Smurfs
Get
are gone.
knocked off. Just like that, the Smurfs are gone.
Andre Ferguson, I'm so heated.
Are
we going to finally throw on? It's been an hour and 37
okay.
minutes. Are we going to throw Andre a bone?
Okay, before we do that, there's another big
honorable
one
mention.
there's another big one that I want to discuss here, because it got a reboot just recently on Netflix, and I feel like there's a lot of people within like our core group of people that we hang out with, the cosplayers who are insane X-Men fans. So I feel like the original X-Men animated series TV show has to be mentioned, even though I'm not 100% sure it was a Saturday morning cartoon.
I was going to say, I don't think it was a morning one.
Aired, but I don't know that it was meant for Saturday morning.
Probably got rerun maybe in some Saturday morning.
Yeah. So I'd be willing to give it a pass, but I'm not 100% sure. Let me look it up here.
Apparently, it aired on Fox Kids from 92 to 97, and yes, was indeed a Saturday morning cartoon.
Saturday morning lineup. The X-Men
there you go.
Debuted on October 31st.
Okay, I was saying in that case, yeah, that needs to be on there.
So X-Men the animated series, yeah.
That super needs to be on there then.
Yeah, I again, that's one that I would probably be inclined to put probably somewhere middle of the list at this point.
Yep.
Even though I know it's probably where it's going to end, I want to say like 5 or 6. I'd be okay with X-Men.
Yep.
I don't know that I'm putting it above TMNT.
No, me neither. I never even
absolute top, and even then, I don't know if it should supplant GI Joe, but it would definitely not supplant TMNT.
Yeah, you think it goes below GI Joe?
I didn't even hear of X-Men the animated series until it came out on Netflix.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Oh,
I watched so much of it.
Because I think it was a 90s cartoon, right? That's why it debuted in 92. Yep. Right? So it skipped all the 80s stuff. Mm-hmm. So we would have been not aged out of it. I do remember watching the X-Men cartoon. And again, same thing. Countless memes came out of that and have since been recreated. They even reference one of the memes in the third X-Men movies when he says, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." That's from a meme from the X-Men cartoon. So
That's the
Oof.
funny part. It's not from the cartoon. It's a reference to a meme from the cartoon.
No, that's what I mean. The
That's-
meme was
that's
created
even-
from the cartoon, which was then referenced in. Sorry, that's what I meant. The meme was referenced, not the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jennifer saying 8.
At least 7.
I could see it being below G.I. Joe and above SpongeBob. Sure, I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see 7. What
Rob?
do you think, Rob?
Well, you never watched it, so you
Oh yeah, you didn't even know it existed.
Well, but I recognize it. I don't know that I put it above SpongeBob.
I mean, I'd be okay at 8. I think I'd be okay at 8. Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
be okay with it at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with it at 8 as well.
We'll take it.
Control Z. There you go.
Stupid lists. All right, there we go. I'm scraping the bottom barrel of my list here. I had Tom and Jerry, which we didn't mention, which I think needs a mention, but I don't think makes the lists. Before we go on to this last one here, anybody else have any other honorable mentions they want to talk about? No.
And good.
I don't know why we're picking on Andre.
All right, Andre, it's your turn, bud. It's your turn to pick.
Yeah, what was he talking about?
I think we are in fact talking about Batman the animated series. That's right. For a lot of people, Kevin Conroy, the voice of Bruce Wayne and Batman the animated series, is the definitive Batman and Bruce Wayne. I kind of tend to agree.
Hey, would
Definitive
you like
Joker
to know?
For me, it's definitely Mark Hamill, which also came from the animated series.
Both fantastic. Would you like to know what everybody cosplayed 2 or 3 or 4 years ago? Every single chick on planet Earth, even this one down here, has cosplayed that particular character. Harley Quinn was not a character introduced in the comics. Harley Quinn was a character introduced on Batman the Animated Series.
It sure was.
And has arguably become one of the biggest cartoon characters of all time. So
Mask of the Phantasm was introduced through this franchise. The Red Hood was introduced through this franchise. So many characters in the Batman lore were introduced within Batman the Animated Series. It's hard to argue. And let's be honest, show me somebody that's under the age of 40 that doesn't know Batman the Animated Series or that's never heard of it.
I was gonna say we'll wait to see what Victoria and Nicole say.
Yeah, under or over?
I mean, my parents won't know what Batman the Animated Series is, right? But I guarantee you, anybody that was born after me, for sure knows what Batman the Animated Series is. I guarantee.
Batman the Animated Series on IMDb is ranked number 24 in the top 250 television shows
of all time. Imagine
not
that.
cartoons,
That's pretty good,
television shows. Yes, won a primetime Emmy as well. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think I did read at some point that this was up to that time the most expensive animated show of all time, and I think the number wasn't even close. Like they spent a lot of money. Condiment King also TAS. There you go. We do like your Condiment King, that's for sure. So
yeah.
And we have clarified this was like a morning one. It wasn't like a primetime evening the way that Sailor Moon was, right?
We did not clarify that. Let's clarify.
Fox Kids, 92 to 95.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. I would be inclined to put Batman the Animated Series pretty high on this list, but I'm probably a little bit biased because I love the fucking show. I own a bunch of the movies on DVD, like Phantasm, like Red Hood, like The Return of the Joker, which was actually a Batman Beyond movie. Batman Beyond was a spin-off of Batman the Animated Series. It spun off a Superman show. It spun off a bunch of stuff.
So it originally aired on weekday afternoons on Fox Kids. While it wasn't primarily a Saturday morning cartoon, it did become part of it in some regions during reruns.
Ooh.
I don't know.
That does make it a little tougher.
We did say at the beginning if it at least had reruns, you know.
I was going to say there was something else that we let skate through. for that. So I just wanted to correct myself.
No, that's all good.
Andre is saying Justice League Unlimited was arguably better, but we don't get it without bats. 100%. That was like the last one in that series of movies to come out, right? It was a fantastic show, but if Batman the animated series never comes out, we never get Batman the Superman the animated series. If we never get Superman the animated series, we don't get Justice League Unlimited, right? So
I would say Jennifer is saying here though that we didn't include Flintstones because it didn't do Saturday mornings.
Did anybody even bring up Flintstones?
I don't think so.
Jeff mentioned it earlier.
I did mention it for sure.
Oh, you did.
Okay.
But I didn't think it was a Saturday. It has not appeared on I've gone through probably 10 Saturday morning cartoon top lists. It has not appeared on a single one of them. So I just assumed it was not a Saturday morning cartoon. It had an adult bend to it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Can we ask the Truth Machine?
Yeah, Truth Machine says it's pretty much the same thing. Originally aired as a primetime television series.
Primetime.
However, later Saturday morning cartoon through reruns. But you didn't add it as a list item though, did you? Or you just brought it up?
No. People were talking about the Flintstones because it would be hard not to talk about the Flintstones again for impact.
Okay.
But I didn't think it ever aired on Saturday morning. I never watched it on Saturday mornings. It was always like a primetime show.
I never watched it then either. Yeah.
So first of all, we do need to figure out where Batman the animated series goes. And I am willing to also let the Flintstones pass and put them on the list.
Okay.
But where do we put Batman?
I put Batman at 5.
Yeah. 4 or 5 for sure.
I
put it.
I would even be inclined to put it at 4, 6.
I wouldn't put it above TMNT, but
really,
I feel like just the effect that it had on like the DC world in general, like it brought in characters that have been in like TV shows and movies
from earlier in the show. Nice. Yes.
Yeah, for like the animated series was what, 3 years, 4 years, 3 years?
Well, yeah, but it introduced characters that have now had like their own main like DC movies.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the impact of the animated series is huge.
Sorry, which characters? Sorry, again?
Well, Harley Quinn was the biggest one, right? That was introduced on the animated series. Renee Montoya, somebody else I just read was all introduced through Batman the animated series.
Sure, 5, I guess. Yeah. What did you guys say?
Yeah, I was going to put it even up as high as 4.
You put it higher than Pokemon?
No, we can't. It's a better product, but we can't.
It's a better product, yeah.
It's not.
People who are into that. For the people who are into
that. If we're talking about quality, then like SpongeBob shouldn't be on this list at all. So we can't bring that up.
Listen, all right, that's your opinion. That's just like your opinion, man. I will say this about Batman is at least Pokemon is like an original thing. And TMNT was like Batman is based on a character that was created 60 years before or 50 years before that show was even made. There was so much Batman shit that had already been done by the time the animated series came out. They had so much to already draw upon, where a lot of the other things on this list were like creation
being created for it.
You know what I mean? So that'd be my only argument against Batman. But having said that, it was brilliant. It was very well done.
Well, it was great.
To be on the list for sure.
I think that's part of the reason why it works so well is not only did people already know Batman and a lot of the Batman lore, but they played on that, right? They included shit in the Batcave that were references to
100%
other things like the original 60s show and things like that, right? So
for sure.
Yeah, they were very fourth wall breaking in that manner, and I think that's part of the reason why I think it worked so well. But yeah,
that's fair.
Flintstones. Do we want to put the Flintstones on this list before we? Hey, we've been on for almost 2 hours, guys. This is going to be one of the longest podcasts we've done in a long time. We haven't had any fights yet, although at some point I thought the chat was going to start getting out of control and start showing up at our houses. But
can anybody check it on Andre? There he is. Okay, good, great. I want to make sure he had a fucking aneurysm before we finally put his pick up there.
Okay. Flintstones, I wouldn't put Flintstones, but if I did, it would be nearer to the bottom.
Yeah,
feel like Flintstones again has been around for so long. It was so prevalent, like when I was little.
We're not fighting here, but apparently Jen is spoiling. Come downstairs. We'll have a nice chat.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the number
He's
one,
only
so I don't know
saying
what
these
you're
things
complaining about
for
here.
Liz.
Yeah. What are you looking to fight about? You literally
Yeah.
called the number
Yeah.
one. So
Nada
you
was
know.
supposed to be throwing hands if Scooby wasn't number one, and it's not. So I'm expecting at least some mild, finger poke of doom from Nada for sure next time I see her.
I think Nada
yeah,
understood
Flintstones-
our arguments and decision.
Flintstones is another one of those where it's like, for a time, it was easily the most popular cartoon on television, and again, it wasn't even close. But that time was like a very specific time, and it had, I feel like, a specific audience that has since aged out, and it's not anything that's sort of popular now. It's like kind of fallen off the zeitgeist, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I would probably feel the same way. Like if it was going to crack the list, it would definitely be at the bottom for sure. What's our last thing on the list?
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Does it replace Alvin and the Chipmunks for everybody? I
At
don't
the
know
very
that it
least,
does.
I think, yeah.
I would say,
I mean,
well,
Alvin
for
and-
me, I would swap it out, but that's just
Yeah,
me.
I would for sure.
What do you think, Rob?
Well, I want to see if Alvin and the Chipmunks original Saturday morning cartoon,
It was.
because
We looked it up earlier.
Flintstones wasn't.
No. it ended
Yeah,
up
that's
being
true.
another
We would
one.
be supplanting it with like a rerun.
Right.
So
Well,
But I mean,
guess-
reruns have their play. Like a syndicated, like Star Trek became popular because of the syndication of the reruns, not because of its original run. So I mean, like it's not like reruns don't. If Batman the Animated Series was only on for 3 seasons, clearly it found its life mostly in reruns and in syndication. That type of, you know what I mean? So it's not like a death knell just because it ran out of a rerun. But
I don't know.
and in direct-to-TV movies and into spin-offs and,
who are we
et cetera,
talking about now?
Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah.
Right?
But Flintstones
I mean, it
versus
wasn't-
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Flintstones.
Which would we?
One's for, I don't care. They're one's an older generation, like one's the next generation, and they're both point in time.
Everybody's real
Yeah.
quiet in the chat now. They all were crying for the Flintstones earlier, but now
I was gonna say I would pick Flintstones over Alvin and the Chipmunks personally.
I probably would too.
I mean, I know I would because it was so popular when I was a kid. So if the millennial is saying, then I think we have to go with it.
None of you are millennials.
That one is.
Hi.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, she's the poster child for it. Isn't she? What's the millennial age range?
When you be a Gen
She's not a Z. And she's not an
I would
X.
say I'm not a Z.
No?
I think it cuts off at like 98 or something that they start Gen
96.
Z.
The millennials are till 96. Gen Z's 97.
Okay, I'm 96. I count.
Okay. Well, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
So you're the end of millennials, and I'm the beginning of millennials.
Yeah.
The first
yeah,
one of you
put
to call me
Flintstones over Alvin.
first one of you to call me a boomer is getting fucking cracked.
You're not a boomer. You're
not
a
a
Gen
boomer.
Xer. So
You're
yeah.
Gen X.
I know.
You're an elder.
I was waiting for somebody in the chat to be like, "Oh, okay, boomer."
Okay, boomer.
The
Yeah.
best generation.
Too many gens. Shake my fucking head. I don't know. I mean,
Alrighty.
anyways,
I
Guys,
don't
fine.
care anymore. I got shit to do.
there's the list.
There we go.
for
Number
one.
those listening at home, number 1 is the Looney Tunes. Number 2, Scooby Doo. Number 3, Transformers. Number 4, Pokemon. Number 5, Batman the Animated Series. Number 6, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Number 7, G.I. Joe. Number 8, SpongeBob SquarePants. Number 9, X-Men the Animated Series. And number 10, the Flintstones. That is your top
Yeah.
10 Saturday morning cartoons. Did we make some of you mad? Did we make some of you angry? Please comment on our YouTube video and let us know how upset we made you with our list. I guess we're going to find out in about 20 minutes if JS's door starts banging on it and Rob's there. But I mean, he was on the podcast. So, I mean, what could he even do?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, guys, if this list is pissing you off, make sure you leave a comment below. Let us know what you're thinking. And while you're there, you might as well click that damn subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you click the notification bell, you know what? I'm gonna say it again. It'll always let you know every time we go live or we upload a new video.
Which we're doing a lot lately. So you might want to check out some
Yeah.
content.
We're
There are
gonna
a
have
lot of-
of stuff.
High tier content, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Top shelf
Okay.
with our
I have
brilliant
4
production
finished
crew.
videos.
which you're looking at right here, all of our production group plus Jen.
Plus Jen and Andrew.
Yes, and Andrew. That's correct. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, I think I like this list. Jeff, any issues with this list?
Several, but none I'm willing to die on the hill for. We're literally coming up on 2 hours in the podcast. It's 9 o'clock. I got to work in the morning. So I'm not rushing, by the way. I wanted to give us all. I knew 4 people on a top 10. It was going to take a long time. I was prepared for this. That's fine. I knew there'd be a lot of arguments. And like Rob said, this was harder because we brought the little Gen Z millennial along with us. So
the Gen Z millennial.
You're on the cusp, Megan. Come on. What are you going to tell you?
It wasn't even that. We're talking about cartoons from the 1920s to now.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's
yeah.
But I mean, I think that's a fairly solid list. I'm sure there are other things you could make arguments for, and a lot of people had some great suggestions. So sorry to anybody that we didn't get to your suggestion, but the chat, you guys killed it for this one. You guys were just feeding us with stuff and reacting to everything, and you kept us on going. So that was fantastic. Yeah, no, I think that's great. Next week we're going to be talking to no, we're not. Next week we're going to have our pre-show for London Comic Con.
Yeah, so next week we're doing a little bit of a Comic Con pre-show, just because we're not going to do a Comic Con post show. I think if you want to find out how Comic Con went, come to our after party. That's right. Saturday, September 14th, we're having an after party at London Comic Con at the Yale House, 7 p.m. Although the show ends at 7, so we have to be at the show till 7. Then we need to go.
We'll sneak somebody out to make sure they're there for 7. Yeah, someone will. Well, we don't remember it's Saturday. We have to tear it all down and then put it back up again. Saturday we get to just kind of leave, right? So yes, we will. One of us will sneak out and make sure there's someone there to greet people for 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's right down the road. So
so that should be a good time. So we're going to talk more about all the going-ons at London Comic Con next week. Make sure you keep our eye on our Instagram because we're posting a bunch of stuff about London Comic Con also over the next few days and the weekend. We're all going to be there. Actually, the only one that's going to be missing is Jamie. Jamie can't make it this year. But otherwise, we're all there. Editor Megan is going to be joining us. Obviously, Rob, the bad guy, producer Jen. Guys, by the way, producer Jen had a little bit of surgery today. Nothing major. It was day surgery, but still, she's on the couch recovering. And as you can see, taking pot shots at me here from the chat. So make sure you go and wish her a good recovery. I think that's going to be all for now. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We had a great show. Make sure you stay geeky. I think we'll see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss anything.